Yes, I'm so glad to be back, and it's wonderful to have the opportunity to be here again on the chancel steps with you today. You know, it's an interesting gospel for us today, very interesting gospel. We have this image of Jesus a lot that's perpetuated throughout the church, and that is the Lamb of God. The willing sacrifice. While that's true, I love the Jesus that we have this morning, the historical Jesus, the revolutionary Jesus, He tells us very, very clearly what his intentions are, and his intentions are very clearly to make a noise. To stir things up, to make sure the status quo doesn't remain such. I've come to bring division. And he's given us all possible permutations on how you can divide a family. Right? Mother-in-law against the son-in-law, father against the son. Left nobody out. Everybody's going to be swept up in this revolution that Jesus is perpetuating. And I think it's important for us to always remember that Jesus was a revolutionary. Jesus is a revolutionary. Yes, a spiritual revolutionary and a social revolutionary. He wanted to and did change the social order of his time. And we, as followers of the Jesus way, have that responsibility to carry on that revolution that Jesus catalyzed. Showed us that new way, that the organization of how we worship is less important than what we bring to the worship. That we love fearlessly. Love fearlessly. And so I have a story for you, and as I usually do, and so the message this morning is called La Pelota, and our Spanish speakers know that means the ball, La Pelota. So, as you know, I went to the Dominican Republic. And for those of you that don't know, this is a wiffle ball. Anybody have played wiffle ball? Yes, everybody's played wiffle ball. We know how it works, right? There's holes on one side, and you can do amazing things with this ball. You can make it curve, you can make it sink, you can make it rise, you can do all kinds of things. But when I took these balls down to the Dominican Republic, it was a little strange when I started playing with the children. They said, Senor, why did you give me a ball with holes in it? I said, well, let me show you. And 0 for 1. 0 for 2. Let's see, we need a bit of practice here. There. Over on the bleachers? Yes, okay. Uno más. I'm going to keep it. La Pelota. So everywhere we went, it seems like we took a ball with us. When we went to the beach, we took our mitts and we started throwing a baseball around. My good friend Dylan and I would take our mitts and we'd throw the baseball around. And pretty soon we were surrounded by children, laughing and wanting to play with us, and they would try the mitts on. These are grown-up mitts, and they're little itty hands, and they look like a giant. They look like a giant mitt, next to a little itty head. We were having so much fun, and we ended up taking a bunch of these wiffle balls down to the beach, and after the children mastered the technique, was was wonderful. It was amazing to see how happy they were. And what ensued from that is not just a bit of fun on the beach or on the street, with a bunch of children. But what ensued after that was a conversation. Conversation. And so what I would offer to you this morning, that for us to be part of the revolution, we don't have to ignite a conflict. We simply have to ignite a conversation. To be truly revolutionary is to be unafraid to take on and to engage in words with those with whom we do not have everything in common. Those with whom we perhaps have absolutely nothing in common. I don't have much with a poor barrio young man from the Dominican Republic who has power for 4 hours a day, who has to haul water back and forth to his casa. It's a good day when they have an onion and a aguacate. I don't have much in common with them, but through the conversation, through this small little sphere, this pelota, we were able to begin to understand one another. When you think about it, having a conversation is a lot like playing catch. And there's nothing I love more than playing catch. And my friend Dylan and I played catch on the beach quite a bit when we were there. Just throwing the ball leisurely back and forth and relaxing and talking about whatever it is that came up. Some lighthearted conversations, some more serious, in-depth conversations. And the same thing happened with the children. And, it wasn't too long before their families came over, and we had a bit of conversation around them, with them as well. So what I'm proposing to you, saints, is that not only that we say we are relatives, but we begin to act like it. We begin to talk to one another. We begin to talk to those who are maybe outside of this circle. The Jesus movement is exactly that. Or is it? We talk a lot about the Jesus movement. Is it really a movement? Is it really a force that's sustained by us, or are we simply loving enclaves of people that are happily talking to one another? I would say not. I would say this congregation is an amazing example of engaging in conversation with those outside of this circle, engaging in conversation with those whom we have nothing in common. Starting a game of catch with a stranger, la pelota. Can't be afraid to throw out the first ball. It's amazing. Once you do, see that beautiful big smile on their face. And I've never had one child run away with the ball. Never. I've always had the child throw the ball back. And from there it begins, one to another, la pelota. Start a revolution. Start a conversation. Play catch with me.